Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have our 2007 Toyota Camry. I'm going to replace the rear rotors because it's making a sound. I'm going to show you what the sound sounds like. So if I put it in, I'm going to put it in drive real quick so I can get it up this hill. Okay, now listen, when I put it in reverse, listen closely. No, it's not doing it right now, but it makes a howling sound. It goes whoa, some sort of sound like that. So I have a little bit of vibration on the brake pedal also, so I'm thinking it might be a warped rotor. So the side I think is the bad side is the passenger side. So I'm going to do that one first, and then I'm going to see if the sound follows. So go ahead and loosen the lug nuts before you jack it up. Loosen the lug nuts to break the initial torque on them, and then jack it up. So if you listen real close, if I spin this, you can hear how the rotor is warped. Now these are brand new brake pads, so we're not going to change the brake pads today. We're just going to change the rotors, and then I'm going to show you how to bed the rotors in, or I'm sorry, bed the brake pads into the rotors. So if you're having issues with how to get them off, either use a little piece of PVC pipe or use the proper size wrench, but extending the grip usually works, and it did. All right, so as you can see, this little guy is moving, so I have to lock it in place to keep it from moving. So that was a 14 millimeter that you need to use. Kind of awkward, but it's how it is on these brakes sometimes. All right, I'm just gonna loosen that part, and let's get this one. Okay, that one I didn't need that. All right, again, hold the backup wrench here so you can get it loose. Well, I went and did the wrong thing. The main bolts are this is not the main bolts. And these are the ones you take off if you want to just change the pads, you see? Which somebody screwed these up. See that? See that? I don't know if that's gonna matter. See how it's kind of bent? Let's see if we can bend that back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean these off, put a little lube on them. See, these are new pads. But they are, if you can see that, they are eating the edge off, and they're eating the edge of the rotor down. They're not fitting right. These pads don't seem to be working right. The plot thickens. Both sides are like that. Interesting. Wonder if the other side is like that too. interesting. See the different wear pattern here? It's like rounded. And then both of these brake pads have that lip on them. I don't like that. So knowing the issues now, I'm gonna go back to the store and I'm gonna get new brake pads and hardware. I think the last person that did the brakes possibly did it with the wrong year model or something like that. So I'm gonna go get the 2007 Toyota Camry brake pads. All right, to get the caliper off, we're gonna take this bolt off here, and there's a corresponding bolt down there. We're gonna take those two off. Still the same size, but we went ahead and got some brake pads that were the gold kind or whatever. You know, you had to pay $10 extra, but they seem to be the correct brake pads. So we're gonna see what happened. They might have installed some stuff backwards. I have no idea. So we're gonna figure this out. Should break pretty easy. Put this one on good. Even break it loose with a breaker bar. Well, at least it was safe, I guess. Dang. Okay, we got it loose. Alright, we're gonna work on the bottom one now. Yeah, these are tight. Alright, I got the bottom bolt off. Get the top bolt off, and then we're gonna have to tie it up. Be real careful around the heat shield too. You don't want to bend that. All right, and right around now you can kind of wiggle it loose. All right, so it's loose. I'm gonna bring it up here, tie it off with a strap. You know what, I'm gonna use a zip tie. Either way, don't let it fall to the ground. Get a zip tie. All right, I should hold it. Okay, next step is getting this off. Yeah, sometimes it's real hard, but apparently that was not a big deal. Okay. So we're gonna replace these rotors, and they might even be the wrong ones. We'll see. That wear pattern was really strange right here. Like it's wearing the very edge and making a lip. I didn't like that. It's kind of strange. So let's get the new rotor on real quick. I'll show you the best way to do this. All right. Kind of inspecting here, see if everything's okay. If you see anything broken, it looks pretty good to me right now. But let's get the new rotor. All right, like I said before, these are packaged with a rust preventative solution on them. So what you need to do is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray the backside first with brake cleaner. And that's what brake cleaner's for, is to clean brake parts like rotors, okay? Clean the inside where the drum brakes go. And as you can see, what's happening is some of that stuff's coming off. So keep cleaning. I use a rag that doesn't have any oil on it, of course. All right. Now we did not clean the other side, and we will clean that here in a second. So what I want you to do also is this extra hole right here. I want you to line it up with one of these big holes. I think it'll only go in one. So let's see. All right, we'll go in that one. Let's see if it goes in this one. Okay, it went in this one. So I lined the big hole up with that. And that's what that is it's an inspection window so that you can tighten and loosen the drum brakes if needed. All right. Now that it's mounted, go ahead and spray and clean the outside. All right, and then go ahead and wipe it down. You want to get all that. You want to get all that goo off of there from shipping. Once the brake is set, here we're going to go ahead and mount our we're gonna go and mount our caliper again, and we're gonna work with it just like we would change the brakes normally, okay? Now, you want your drum brakes to sound like that, exactly like that. You want your drum brakes to actually drag just a little bit. And the adjuster will adjust if it's too tight or too loose, okay? So let's snip this. All right, we're snipping that. And then we're gonna put it where it goes and go ahead and mount the bolts again. And these are tricky to line up sometimes, so just stick with it. You'll get it. Move it around until it lines up. I got the top one lined up. And the bottom one. And I'll put these on, tighten them up, and I'll show you what happens next. Okay, so I've mounted this, but I haven't tightened it. So it's kind of just there, all right? The caliper itself. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these bolts out of the, actually the caliper. When I talk about caliper, I meant the caliper assembly right here. Okay, now we're gonna take the brakes out, and we're gonna go ahead and take these carriers out of here too. All right, should be able to get it with a screwdriver. Just shove the screwdriver in there and pop it out. All right, there's another one at the top. Okay, and you know, when you change your brakes, you really do want to change these out, but you see how this one's kind of bent? I'm not sure if that's what's causing all that, but either way, I don't like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up. You want to get these tight, okay, because this is the main thing that prevents your brakes from falling off when you're braking. There's a lot of force, so get those tight. All right, they're tight. Okay, now we're gonna focus on what we're doing here. All right, so let's get the new set of hardware in there. Comes with instructions. You guy's a real winner. I'm sure somebody's proud of him. All right, there's many of these. I wonder why there's so many. The new brake pads are here. And you want to take all these out just to see if there's a difference in the four brake pads. If they're all the same, then it doesn't matter where they go. But if they're slightly different, then there's probably a reason for that. If you can see, these are more or less the same. All right, but oh, I'm sorry. These are more or less the same. However, this one has a little nub on it, okay, and this one doesn't. We're gonna find out that it's probably something to do with the clearance. Now, the old ones that were incorrect and causing a weird wear pattern have the nub attached. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to attach the ones this time without the nub and see what happens. So there's enough for both sides. So here goes. This part right here, this part right here goes in here. I'm guessing there's a variation of brakes some people have. Let me see if there's something else different. Yeah, one of these is wider. This one's actually wider in here. It won't fit. So it might be better to use the one with a nub at the top. because they weren't fitting for me. Let's see if these fit. Yep, those fit. So, all right, so you got to use for certain varieties of the Toyota Camry. For some reason, they need one needs one type and one needs the other type. All right, so for mine, we're gonna use the one with a little nub because this part is skinnier. This part right here is skinnier, allowing it to go in where it needs to go in. All right. Yeah, see how that fits kind of nice? All right. So when we place these here, we're gonna put grease on them, of course, but these actually fit. Actually fit in there better than the other ones did. I'm just checking to see the alignment here. I'm about to bend them again. Just a pain in the butt to get in. All right, it's best to get the top ones in first, but yeah, they're right on the edge of that. Strange. It's so strange. I don't like how it works. It's almost like they don't fit, but they're the correct ones. So hey, if you guys have the same issue with yours, if you got noisy brakes in a Camry, I guess leave a comment and tell us. Tell us if this is normal or not. But to me, it doesn't look normal. It doesn't look normal. All right, so but we're not going to be able to fit our brakes on there if we don't get this caliper pushed back in. So let's go ahead and do that with the old brake pads. What we need is a C-clamp and an old brake pad. Okay, so grab an old brake pad, put it here, and what you're going to do is you're going to use this C-clamp to push it in. Let me get this run down better. All right, we're just pushing the caliper back in. Sorry, the caliper piston. Pushing it back in to make way for the new pads. All right, awesome. See, it's pushed in. All right, we're gonna use some of this brake lubricant. So we're gonna take this off. And what we're gonna want to do is lubricate the places where the brakes will move. Okay. But be very careful not to get this grease on the actual rotor that we just cleaned. Not too much, because you don't want it to squirt out towards the rotor. All right, and then do the other side as well. Okay, not only do you lubricate this area here, you're gonna want to lubricate right here where the brakes touch the brake pads, and you're also going to want to lubricate the piston, the metal piston portion. All right, right here, right where it's at. Now be sure and use the type of brake grease designed for this, because if you get the wrong type on that rubber, it could attack the rubber. So what I'm going to do right now is, I got a little bit extra on the rubber. I'm gonna get that off. Even though this is the correct stuff, I don't trust it. All right, there we go. Now, I'm Make sure your hands are clean. And we're gonna go ahead and install these brake pads. Okay, but we're gonna install the brake pads where we're gonna install this noise maker here to tell us when our brake pads are low. Okay, it's like a noise maker. Good to go. I think it goes right there, the noisemaker. And we'll do another noisemaker on this side. But always install this little feeler. It's a noisemaker. Always install this as the wheels are turning on the trailing edge of the brake, right here. Not the leading edge of the brake, the trailing edge. All right. And as you can see, what'll happen is when that brake pad gets worn down, it'll start making a noise on that thing. So be very careful on the back side of this one because you can't really see. You don't want to bend these little delicate pieces here like we found the other one was bent. All right, nice. All right, it's nice, okay? Now it's probably gonna be a good fit right there, that's good. And install your last bolt. Also check your guide pins, make sure they move freely. This one moves freely, and so does this one. They move real good. Okay, now go ahead and tighten that up. Using your backup wrench if needed. It might need it, it might not. Actually, it does not need it. Just tighten it up. It doesn't have to be extremely tight, but it does need to be to where it won't get loose. All right, there you go. Tighten it up real good. Now, it's loose right now, and that's because the brake needs to be compressed. But there you go. There you have it. That's one side. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side, and I will film it if there's anything kind of weird. So, main idea here is don't use the ones with the flat side. It might be for a different type of brakes, maybe anti-lock brakes or non-anti-lock brakes are different. Maybe it's a V6 versus the 4-cylinder. I have no idea, but right now it's installed. All right, so get these bolts hand tight, and when we down jack the car, we'll get it all the way good to the proper torque. But don't forget to get your jack stand out from under the car before you down jack it. All right, so this particular rotor won't budge, okay? And I know it's not the brake pads forcing on the outside because it's nice and smooth, okay? So what we have to do is we have to use a bolt and screw it into these bolt holes here, and then use a wrench to spin it off of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just spin that down, tighten it, and what it'll do is it'll try to hear that? It releases it. Okay, I'll loosen that up and do the other side. A little at a time, just keep switching sides with it and it'll come off. All right, let's see if it comes off. And it came off just like that. All right, easy. That's why those two holes are there, so you can screw a bolt into it. Yeah, so let's put a new rotor on there and I'll show you off camera. Yeah, this side has the same strange wear pattern around the edge. So I'm not sure what's causing that, but hopefully after changing these brakes and rotors at the same time, it will all be remedied and go according to plan. But yeah, that's a strange one. I'm not sure I like this brake design. All right, all done on the driver's side too. I'm just gonna mount the wheel and call it a day. Okay, wheel lug torque for the 2007 Toyota Camry is 76 foot-pounds. All right, so I'm not gonna show you what to do right now to bed in the brakes, but I can tell you. So all you have to do is run the car at like 60 miles per hour and then slam on the brakes all the way down until the ABS kicks in. Do that like 3 times, but make sure there's no dangers on the road. Make sure nobody's behind you, and make sure it's a straight line. But that's all you do. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, share it out to people who you think might have a car like this or like that or like that. Any kind of the cars that I had on the channel. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time on I Just Fix It Myself.